From allegations of fraudulent activities to investigations by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, here's why Elon Musk was being investigated for fraud. Elon Musk's reputation as a maverick entrepreneur has been called into question. So, picture this. The co-founder and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons lately, leaving many to wonder if he's finally crossed the line.
Holy flying that thing took off.
Oh my god.
Yes, Elon Musk, the man who will take us to Mars, is being investigated for fraud. What? He always seems one step ahead of the game, but not this time. He has landed in hot water for tweets about taking Tesla private. The SEC, that's the Securities and Exchange Commission for those of us who don't speak finance, they decided to investigate the tweet for potential fraud.
We allege that Musk had arrived at the price of $420 by assuming a 20% premium.
Why do you ask? Well, apparently the tweet deceived investors and allegedly caused the price of Tesla stock to increase significantly. Who knew 280 characters could cause so much trouble? Well, it certainly did. I mean, what was he thinking? For someone so smart, he made a stupid error. The tweet could have misled investors into thinking the deal to take Tesla private was already in the bag. But as it turned out, it wasn't. The tweet was like a bad pickup line that seemed impressive at first but ended up leaving you feeling deceived and disappointed. And the consequences were no joke. The price of Tesla stock shot up like a rocket, causing further concerns about its validity. It was like everyone wanted a piece of the Tesla pie, but Elon was playing hard to get. It's like the old saying goes, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And Elon's tweet was no exception. His credibility took a hit after that one. But hey, you can't blame a guy for trying to make moves, right? I guess the lesson here is to always read between the lines and double check before investing in something that seems too good to be true.
I think it's important. It's about minimizing.
But why did the SEC get involved? The SEC investigated Elon Musk's claims. They need to know if he had secured funding for the deal, and they wanted to see if he had the money to take Tesla private in the first place. I mean, that's some high-stakes poker right there. But wait, it gets even better. The SEC fined Elon Musk $20 million for his tweet, and he had to step down as chairman of Tesla. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. And that's not all, folks. The SEC also required Tesla to put in place additional controls and procedures, all related to Elon Musk's communications. It's like they put him on a social media leash. But let's not forget, this investigation resulted in greater investor protection and disclosure requirements. So it's not all bad news. And hey, it also highlighted the need for CEOs to be careful when running their mouth online. You don't want to end up like Elon Musk with a $20 million fine on your head, right? The bottom line is, the SEC will go after those who make false or misleading statements. So, if you're a CEO or a high-profile entrepreneur, watch your tweets, folks. But the drama doesn't stop there. Tesla agreed to monitor all of Elon Musk's public communications relating to the company. And let's face it, who wouldn't want to monitor Elon's tweets? He's like a loose cannon. You never know what he'll say next. But hey, at least Tesla got it covered. But it didn't end there. The SEC investigation resulted in increased scrutiny of the company and its operations. Talk about pressure, right?
If somebody is doing something that is useful to the rest of society, I think that's a good thing.
You're just trying to sell cars, and next thing you know, the government is all up in your business. This increased scrutiny has impacted Tesla's public image and investors' confidence.
We also always forget this elementary truth.
And let's be honest, if people aren't confident in Tesla, then they're not going to be investing their money in the company. But on the flip side, the investigation resulted in greater investor protection. So it's not all bad news, folks. This increased transparency in the industry is a good thing for everyone. But with excellent transparency comes great responsibility. And Tesla is definitely feeling the heat now that they're under the microscope. And everyone knows the SEC isn't one to mess around with, especially when it comes to investigating and prosecuting those who make false statements that deceive investors. They take that stuff seriously, like we're watching you seriously. And let's be real, we're all investors in some way, whether it's through stocks, 401ks, or just the hope that we'll hit the lottery someday. So when Elon Musk made those statements about taking Tesla private, the SEC had to step in and ensure everything was up and up. They wanted to know if Elon really had the funding to make it happen, or if he was just blowing smoke out of his Tesla-shaped ego. And let's be honest, with the kind of money Elon has, it's not like he's digging through his couch cushions to find change. But the SEC had to be sure, and they launched an investigation to determine if Elon was being truthful, or if he was just trying to make waves. And that's not all. The SEC was also committed to investigating and prosecuting anyone who tried to pull a fast one on investors. So if you're thinking about making some grandiose statements about your company to boost stock prices, think again. The SEC has their eye on you, and they're not afraid to throw the book at you if you're caught deceiving investors. And if anything, this mess Elon had found himself in can teach us a lesson. Transparency is key when it comes to building trust. And that's exactly what companies should be doing. Taking responsible steps to monitor, control, and disclose any material information that may affect investor decisions.
It wasn't like a conscious decision to not do it. It just wasn't a priority at the time, I think is maybe the way to think about it.
Think about it. As an investor, you're putting your hard-earned money into a company, hoping that it will grow and generate a return on your investment. But what if the company isn't upfront about its financials, its risks, or its plans for the future? That's where things get a little hairy, my friend. You might be thinking, well, isn't that the job of the SEC? Sure, they play a momentous role in regulating the markets and enforcing the rules, but it's not just up to them. Companies themselves should also take responsibility for maintaining transparency and trust with their investors. It's like being in a relationship. You wouldn't want your significant other to hide important information from you, right? The same goes for companies and investors. It's all about trust and communication. And let's be straightforward. Nobody likes a nasty surprise, especially when it comes to their money. So what does this mean for companies? Well, they need to be proactive in monitoring and disclosing any information that could affect investor decisions. They should have internal controls in place, all to ensure that all information is accurate, complete, and timely. At the end of the day, this Musk debacle can teach us that transparency is key, especially in building long-lasting relationships. And the same goes for companies and investors. Well, from bad tweets that were like a bad pickup line to allegedly causing the price of Tesla stock to increase significantly, and then being fined $20 million. Elon Musk sure knows how to make the news. If he's not sending rockets into space or building electric cars, he's ruffling someone's feathers. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. From allegations of fraudulent activities to investigations by the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). That's why Elon Musk was being investigated for fraud.